Hi, and welcome back to Wicked Wands Tarot. My name is Carmen, and today we've got a reading for you about somebody who has been a little bit off lately. They've been acting differently, maybe not following through with promises or making it seem like they're doing something when they're not. We've got the tiptoeing card and bye, Felicia. Peace and out. Thank you next. Leaving and not caring. So it does feel like we've got someone who's thinking that maybe they need to ghost on a situation or maybe they need to cut things off because they feel like they're not getting what they want. And it does feel like it's a little bit of a selfish energy. So let's call in spirit with a little bit of wind chime or a lot. I hope you're having a good day so far. Hello, Slappy. How you doing? If you're interested in a personal reading, my email address is wickedwandstarot@gmail.com. It's in the description box for you, as is more information on how to become a member. Thank you to the current members. Hello, Ms. Fafa. How are you doing? What should we start with today? I think we'll go with the Egyptian tarot. What else do we have? Seven of Wands, Seven of Pentacles in the reverse. So I pulled two cards and it's 2 of 5 sevens. So yeah, thinking about the next steps, feeling like I don't want to continue to invest in this, feeling like this connection or relationship, whatever it is not really what I want. So with the Hanged Man, we have someone who's contemplating sacrificing what they've been investing in or working on and walking towards a new chapter, letting go of this and moving on. It could, because we have the 3 of Pentacles and the 7 of Pentacles, it could be talking about someone who's walking away from a job situation. We do in the tiptoeing card have somebody who's wearing a tie, so it could indicate more of a professional connection. But of course, when we think of ghosting, that tends to be more on the romantic side, maybe friend side as well. But there's a new chapter that this person's thinking about. They don't want to invest in the current situation. Hello, Matt. Hello, Darnell. What's going on? Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Is he okay? I'm glad you weren't there either. I hope he's okay. We've got the 9 of Wands in the reverse and the 10 of Cups. It makes it seem a little bit more likely that we're talking about somebody who is dealing with a romantic or like a situationship type connection. You could have somebody who's saying, I don't want to deal with this work anymore. It makes me struggle to feel like I'm doing well. 10 of Cups could be about making sure you have that peace and that sense of belonging. Like, this isn't what I want. Could be even a reference to like culture, right? But this is saying, if I have to sacrifice this because it's not what I want, then I will. We have the Stars, 3 of Swords, and the 4 of Cups in the reverse. Yeah, I think there's a better way to go about it than what they do. They know what they want instead, or they know they don't want this. So they're a little bit harsh or flippant maybe about walking away, which is why it could be referencing to somebody who's ghosting, or maybe someone who doesn't put in their 2 weeks notice. 10 of Swords in the reverse, Ace of Pentacles in the reverse. It's an ending, but it didn't have to be this abrupt, or it didn't have to be this sudden and kind of almost petty. Wheel of Fortune in the reverse. 4 of Swords in the reverse. Yeah, this is kind of like, I'm going to ghost you right before that wedding I said I would go with you to. I'm going to quit right before you have to do your inventory, you know? It's like, well, this seems like as good a time as any, or maybe even like the best time. So they do it. We're going to get a few from the Path of Shadows. What else do we have? I'm glad he's good. Yep. Gotta protect, right? We've got the crystal ball and the mask. Intuition, clairvoyance, and focus. Duality, protection, caution. This could be about, like, this could be warning you that someone's about to walk out. This could be warning you that someone's about to decide they don't really care how it impacts you. We have key, sharp insight, opportunities, hidden protection, and abandoned carnival. What once was vibrant remains now silenced and still. This place held laughter, even if now no one could believe. Yeah, I feel like the fun part has ended, or the honeymoon is over. The pay has lessened, or the season is over, and this person's like, okay, well, I'm just going to leave now. Self-examination, understanding, and acceptance. The person they're dealing with seems to understand when this happens that the important thing is to just like accept the situation and move forward. Seems like a little bit more of a mature energy. Oops. This is the Soul Cat Tarot. Hello, Pichitata. Hello, Carrie. What's up? What else do we have? Page of Pentacles, the Hermit. Eight of Wands, the Tower. Isn't that a perfect Tower card with cats? Obviously, it's got to be something getting knocked over, right? Looks like an expensive lamp. Yeah. So I've put forth some energy. I've, hung out here for a little while. It's been fine, but now I'm going to go off on my own. I want to find something different. But if you're wanting communication, I don't know if I have time for that. Maybe they're in a rush. Maybe they feel like they have to catch a plane. Maybe they just would rather leave things unsaid. With the Tower, it seems to me kind of like a pattern for them, like they leave like this. We've got the Three of Cups, Ace of Cups in the reverse, and the Knight of Cups in the reverse. I do feel like there's somebody else in this situation. It could be a friend, it could be a family member, it could be a romantic rival. Could be, if it's a professional thing, a coworker. But there's someone who's upset, someone who is like pacing angrily or looking for a way to get some revenge. Six of Cups in the reverse, Four of Wands, Death in the reverse. I mean, they're convinced that if I go elsewhere, if I let go of this situation and move on quickly, then I'll be able to get what I want. but they're skipping a step. They haven't actually ended something, and this could cause a problem. Nine of Swords in the reverse. They feel like they're sidestepping a difficult conversation or a problematic conclusion, but they're making something worse for themselves without realizing it. High Priestess in the reverse. It's like, so what I'm seeing in my mind is there was some, I don't know if it was a YouTube video or it was on some other platform, but there was someone who was talking about how they had an interview and they were rushing on their way, wanted to make sure they got there in time, and someone was driving horribly. They flipped them off. They get there. The person who's interviewing them is the person they got like into it with when they were driving. So it's like that, where they are angry and taking out their frustration, kicking lockers, Napoleon Dynamite style. And they don't realize that when they're taking, their anger out on random situations or things, that it will cause them a future problem, that somebody else is looking at them or watching them and seeing how they handle the situation, and they're not really a fan of it. Hello, Lemonade. How are you doing? The Fool and the Empress. Yeah, so they act out or they do something a bit ridiculous. And someone who's important, someone who makes a decision about their situation, or someone who influences a lot of people, sees what's going on. They're like, okay, noted. This is the Morgan Greer. Glad to hear that. It is, definitely. What else do we have? King of Cups in the reverse. Hierophant in the reverse. Hierophant in the reverse could indicate someone who's no longer your boss, could indicate an end of a relationship. But we have frustrating energies around this circumstance or this change, how someone handled an exit. Because you can't just let go like that. There were things that you needed to do or things that needed to be said. Maybe you're applying for a new job and you feel like you can kind of edit what really happened as far as your departure, and unbeknownst to you, the person who's interviewing you actually knows someone who's married to a coworker from your previous place. There's something here where it's like whatever they think they can just kind of ignore or not deal with actually comes back to cause problems for them. Queen of Pentacles, Knight of Wands, and the Page of Swords. I mean, this has something to do with whether or not they say what they need to or how they say it. They're impulsive or they're petty or they're letting their emotions get the best of them. There's someone else who sees this and is not pleased. This is the Earth and Bone Oracle. Oh, I hope it gets a little bit more manageable for you. What else? We have Serpent and Nest, number 32 and number 41. Rebirth, nonconformity, new approaches, unconventionality, charity, generosity, sharing, and support. So, I mean, this seems to be somebody who's walking away because they don't feel like they have the support or they don't have the network that they need, that they don't have the attention that they need. Walking away, looking to start something fresh without really ending something else. But this person can't avoid the conflict. The conflict is going to find them. We have Beast, number 33. Conflict, competition, arguments, aggression, tension, and oppressors. Beloved, love, relationships, reciprocity, union, intertwinement. Intertwinement is what I'm really drawn to. So, you know those movies like Crash, where you hear from multiple different people on their own specific situation, and then at the end, you have a clear understanding of how they're all related. Another good example of that would be Amores Perros. Um, there's just something about how this person does someone else wrong, walks away, leaves them, kind of frustrated or not able to approach things the way they want, maybe moving out and leaving the whole mortgage or rent for somebody to handle on their own. The way they handle the end of that situation impacts their ability to move on to a new situation, and effectively blocks them from being able to do that. So they feel like they can just go and find some other happy situation, but word of how they ended or didn't really end, the last one causes them problems trying to find a new situation, job, relationship, whatever it is. This is the extended Lenormand. It's called the Gilded Reverie. What else? We have the Book and the Labyrinth, number 26 and number 43. This is like, I felt like there was too many layers or too many things that would prevent people from finding out what was going on. I didn't feel like anyone would be able to realize what happened with the last situation, or how I cut someone off or ghosted someone. I mean, if they're in love with someone and they've been in a situationship with a person they knew they didn't really want something long-term with, the way they handle the situationship might get back to their love interest, the person they feel like they would be happily ever after with. And they ruin that love potential because, oh, well, I heard how you treated so-and-so. Oh, or I heard how you left your last job, right? It was. Hello, Santiago. How are you doing? That's the one where she's saying Richie, right? Looking for the dog. I don't know if I'll ever forget that. So we have 34, the Fish. The Fish and the Ship, number 3, and the Stork, number 17. The person who is ghosted, the person who didn't really expect things to pivot so quickly or like have such disastrous results, they do end up getting some good news. It's almost as if whatever has sidestepped the, what am I calling you? What am I calling you? You know, the person who's ghosting. Should we just call him the ghost? Whoever this ghoster is, they may have felt they were avoiding one problem and going to find this amazing, better situation. But that better situation they were seeing for themselves seems to be what actually happens for the person they ghost. So they might have misread the situation. They may have been just not willing to hold themselves accountable. Or there's like an overnight success that happens. Someone goes viral, or someone has a glow up after the breakup, right? There's something here where they're like, oh, I was real quick to walk away from that situation, and now it looks like what I actually wanted all along. Ugh. They're going to feel silly. They're going to feel foolish, which I almost consider calling them, but I really do hesitate to use that as the like moniker for someone. This is the situations deck. Let's see what else we get for you. Casper. I like that. What else do we have? Lockbox. Closed in, trapped, frustrated. Settlement. Agreement, compromise, and nightlife. So I felt like whatever I was investing in, so say the ghost, Casper, that it was taking away from all of the fun I could be having. It was taking away from all of the good times I should be enjoying. And it was like a compromise that felt like it was, a yoke, right? So they felt like they needed to chase that fun. They needed to go elsewhere and have that better situation. But they're realizing where they go has the same problems. It's like they're starting. Okay, have you ever had a situation where you're trying to figure out who smells in the room? Like I don't know, have a couple friends over and you're like, and then the person who's trying to figure out who smells, it's them. Like it's like the back of their sweatshirt or something. This is somebody who's trying to figure out what the problem is. They keep walking away from situations or people, feeling like that's not good enough for me or this isn't what I wanted, not realizing that they're getting the energy that they give out. They won't find better energy until they work on the things that they need to and do right by the situations that they're in. So they find that they're in this cyclical or cycle, right, of problems as of their own making. It's because they're not resolving anything. This is the weirdest analogy, but it's what's in my head right now. If I braid my hair and I don't have a hair tie, it's not going to stay braided. And all of the work that I put into braiding my hair is for nothing. Okay. That's what this person keeps doing. Stupidest analogy ever, but you get what I'm saying, right? If you put work into it, but you don't resolve it. What's a sillier way to describe it? If you make ginger cookies, but you don't put the sprinkle of sugar on the outside of the ginger cookies, they're not ginger cookies anymore. Sure, there's ginger in there. Sure, we'll be able to tell what the flavor profile is, but you didn't put sugar on the outside? Unfinished. Take it back. This is somebody who's on a consistent basis being asked by the universe to look back at what they left undone. Look back at how they could have resolved something in a more mature way or had that difficult conversation instead of just running away. Like, it's not a game of tag. So this person has been consistently leaving things unfinished and claiming to other people that they quit that or everything was wrapped up great here or, it was an amicable split. Whatever they're trying to make seem like it's great. No, they sucked at it. They screwed it up, okay? And the universe is like, can you please just like figure out how to do this, please? Because we're not going to give you anything of high value until you actually do the work, right? Until you know how to appreciate it, right? I made some last week, so they're top of mind. I had to make them because I found this adorable little bakery that had probably the best ginger cookies I've ever had in my life. And they changed how I wanted to make my own ginger cookies, which I've been making for probably like 25 years. All right. Let's go with, this is the Crow Tarot. Hello, Brew Kings. What's going on? Cookie? I assume that's how I'm supposed to pronounce it. What else do we have? Nine of Wands, Queen of Cups. So because they run from their obligations, whether it's being a good friend, being a good partner, communicating or expressing their emotions in a mature way, they have to take control over that, or quitting in a responsible way. They have to learn how to control this because either they're just terrified of conflict or they think it's just easier. The universe is like, no. We're trying to get you to figure this out, okay? We're trying to get you to this place where you have to resolve something and you keep going, "Bah, I don't wanna. I don't wanna. You can't make me." Yes. Especially with real ginger root. So we have these 6 of Cups and Strength. There's intuitive messages hitting this person. I hope that they can receive them. They're being told, like, you know how to do this. You can do this yourself. Have you ever taught a kid how to do a chore? I'm not a parent, so, you know, I don't know how to do that really. But when I was babysitting, there was a kid that I had to teach how to like take out the garbage. And they were so dramatic about it. Like, I don't know if I can carry it. I was like, yo, until you have to like take out a giant trash can from a bar filled with bottles, like, don't talk to me about heavy. Like, I've had to like lob a giant trash bag of bottles that like broke open on me before I got it. Well, not like on me, but you know, like sometimes people make it seem like it's it's so much work. I don't wanna. The universe is like, I don't care if you don't wanna. We're gonna keep putting this in front of you until you eat it. Like they're vegetables. Eat your veggies. So we've got the Queen of Pentacles and the Moon. Until this person learns how to deal with the conflict resolution or the just like finishing something. Sorry if I'm too blunt, but this is just what's coming through. Until they figure that out, they will experience financial issues. Everywhere they think is going to like solve all their problems won't solve their problems because they have to solve the problem within themselves, right? The Lovers. 10 of Wands. Okay. They might actually get it. I think after a while they get it. It's like when you have to tell your joke 3 times and then somebody finally gets it. It's more than 3 times. It's way more than 3 times. This person's been like, I don't want to grow. I don't want to learn. Don't do that. Accountability. Ew, it smells bad. Don't make me. The universe is done playing and they're like, we're gonna keep you right here until you learn this lesson. Death. So they change. All right, so I guess what I have to do is end this behavior and actually resolve things. Break up with people if I have to, quit if I need to, tell a friend that maybe we just don't have enough in common anymore to keep hanging out. You know, you wear Crocs and I don't, but it was a great 10-year friendship, you know. They have to learn how to resolve and close things out. Once that lesson is learned, their financial situation improves. King of Cups in the reverse, Ace of Wands in the reverse, but they have just learned another, well, they've just been given another opportunity to learn by an opportunity being removed, right? You thought this was going to solve your problem, but you are effectively the problem is what the universe is saying. So no soup for you. No money improves until your soul improves. You gotta do a little bit of shine up on the soul, you know? So they finally get the hint. You're right. I've been lying about my ability to deal with things. Justice. I haven't always done right by the people who deserve better. I haven't always told someone what happened or why I felt the way I did or why I said what I did. So they're going to get better at conflict resolution and telling people what's really going on. Because if you want to know what real strength is or real control over your emotions, I would say it aligns very closely with people who are very dedicated to consistently being honest, even when it is difficult or even when it could cause some hurt feelings, approaching it in a way that is considerate, but also honest, right? Hello, Quantum. How are you doing? Hello, Renee. All right, I'm gonna leave it there. I love you all. Thank you for the likes and the subscribes. If you're able to hype the video, I love you even more. I'll see you on the next reading. Doodles.